Okay, I'm not going to take much time tonight. We'll go ahead and talk real quickly about Saturday night's main event here on the Wrestling Zero podcast. This is just going to be a show. I'm going to just clock in, not even giving it a show number. You know, they did what they did. Okay, so we got championship matches on a lame duck Saturday night's main event on Peacock that didn't feel like anything. I mean, honestly, the way they promoted this thing was not good at all. I just want to make that point clear. And what time did they start at? What, 7 o'clock, I think it was, or something like that? Because they started early. The broadcast ends before 9:30. Done. Okay? And with everything that they decided to go and do, we got two new champions crowned. Jade Cargill, in 5 minutes, destroys Tiffany Stratton, and she gets to be women's champion. Well, listen, all the respect for Jade Cargill, this is where she should be in her run. But what they did with her to get her here, from the tag team title run to what they did with her to finally get the chance to go and take on Tiffany Stratton for this title. Now, Tiffany Stratton did hold on to the belt for a long time. The significance of that is there, but now you've made this dominant win for Jade Cargill, and what does that mean for her going up? I don't know. But that's what they decided to do. Good for her. CM Punk, after his 10-plus year respite from WWE, right? And he comes back. Coming back from Survivor Series roughly 2 years ago, now he becomes World Heavyweight Champion, which I guess was a belt he didn't win before. He had the WWE title, but they didn't have the split belts, I guess. I forget what it was. But either which way. Here we go. CM Punk now champion over Jey Uso. And Jey Uso with another title shot. He's given the schneid. Because if they went back to Jey Uso again, regardless if Michael P.S. Hayes says anything or not, there's no trust that Jey Uso would be someone they would have the belt hold on to for any significant amount of time. For CM Punk, yeah, they could have him hold on to it till WrestleMania at the earliest, if there's any title change. But at the moment, CM Punk is who they're going to put it on without Seth Rollins. And there's plenty of people that could probably bring on for CM Punk to take on and deal with however they want to, because with CM Punk, he's just a lightning rod. You can make it pretty easy for him to go and find any opponents that you want. Will the matches be good? Will the storylines be good? I don't know. But it's fine. That's what they decided to go and do. Now, the matches were fine. I got no problem with that. And there's nothing big about the fact of you had a lot of title retentions when it came to Dominic Mysterio. He wins the IC title and retains it. And then Cody Rhodes defeating Drew McIntyre at the start of the night. Took care of that business too. Fine. So everything was done. They did everything they wanted to go and do for the night. It was, to me, lackluster. I mean, okay, you had the title change. You don't want to do it at Survivor Series because of the matches you have. Now, the one thing they're also going to do is let's figure out what to do with John Cena's last match, which is, again, the next Saturday night's main event that comes up in 5 weeks. So to find out who that opponent's going to be, a 16-man tournament is going to happen. Raw, SmackDown, NXT stars, and anybody that doesn't even work for the company. So Cena wants to have an open challenge for his last match against somebody that wins this tournament. He is not going to have a hand-picked opponent. It's going to be hard-earned. And you can imagine that Gunther, if he's making his way back, he is the odds-on favorite. But that's how they're going to handle John Cena's career-ending match with a 16-man tournament. Well, it's a good way to go ahead and just, put some time in place, I guess, for the prestige of being the one that loses to John Cena, most likely, at that last match. Pretty much it. And I don't want to go into more detail because I just wasn't that interested in it. I mean, listen, on the night that we have plenty of college football out there, we had Game 7 of the World Series, which was fantastic tonight. What a finish to the Dodgers and Blue Jays. The Dodgers now back-to-back champions. That was way more important and overshadows anything that this Saturday's main event did. I mean, I look on X, and I don't think there was that many people that really talked about it, about what was going on. I was like, well, that tells you something. The other thing that's got to be said, too, and then we also got to make mention of it, probably we'll do that on Wednesday, is how many former AEW stars who were champions are now champions in WWE in one way, shape, or form. Make that point clear too. And for somebody out there of the wrestling podcast community says, I looked up fumbled in the dictionary because there was a picture of Jade Cargill, CM Punk, Ricky Saints, and Cody Rhodes, all with their respective belts. I mean, I'm glad you get enjoyment out of, and this is also just as a testament to the rest of the fan base out there, the loyal fandom out there that is fanatic, okay, apologetic to this company to a fault. So you're going to tell me that, I mean, except for Cody Rhodes, you're telling me that you enjoy the run-up to the belts that all three of these other stars got to get to this point? Ricky Saints was in NXT. Okay. He's been champion other places. He was champion in AEW. Like, okay, so? And I'm just saying, does this, I mean, except for the fact that it's the distinguishability of saying you got a title in WWE, or we have to say NXT anyway, that's the one thing you got to think about. Jade Cargill, I'm sorry, a horrible way to get here. She's deserving of a belt because how well did she do in AEW? Great. But how well have they done with her where they can only put her in a 5-minute match, like basically kind of make her like the female Brock Lesnar here, dominating. And now who's going to go ahead and take her on? There's not many takers. There's not many people that are being built up as opponents that can be taking her on. Who? Lyra Valkyria? Come on. Like, who else do we have? And then CM Punk, well, it was just the fact is that, all right, eventually he was going to get to that belt. They gave it to him for a second, then he lost it. But, like, eventually he was going to get another belt again. At this point, they have no choice. They're going to just stick with the world champions that they have. And Cody, like I said, they did right by him. They absolutely did right by him. So also think about the fact that Blake Monroe is also champion in NXT. Ethan Page is a champion in NXT. Right. But the thing is that it's not about the fact that they got the belts. It's about how they were used to get there. And I'm going to say this. I mean, CM Punk, his run in WWE before all this was great. I don't feel the same way about this run here. I enjoyed his AEW run. But what he's done over here has not been memorable to me at all. Not really. I mean, you could say that, you know, his feud with Seth Rollins from the early get-go and maybe some of the early Drew McIntyre feud of the first 3 months of that 10-month feud or whatever, a year long. Yeah, that was fine. But, I mean, it wasn't compared to a lot of the things we had. Like, I mean, give me his feud with MJF, you know, when he was in AEW in that first year. And I loved it. It was great. With Ricky Saints, I've got a lot more enjoyment from him when he was in NWA and AEW. And that's what happened there. And for Jade Cargill, I thought her run in AEW as the women's champion over there, as the TBS champion, the first ever, was great. They handled it so well. And just the build, the way she was presented, the faction that she had with the lawyer, with, you know, Kiana Hogan, all that was working right. That I enjoyed all that. But it's a different story now. But we can talk all about that later. We can bring that up later. That's okay. Somebody else pointing out the fact that for the Saturday Night's main event, and then the match where Cody Rhodes took on Kevin Owens, using the same exact camera angle to put the match together, and also having the referee outside the ring do the pinfall and counting it while he was outside, basically. That was the other thing that was done. It was just very lazy, all there was there, too. And, you know, there's not much else to say. Like I said, I'm not going to go through much more. By the way, the promo that Jade Cargill had to go and do leading up to the title victory, not that great either. Let's just go and play that back real quick.
Security now. Thank you.
This is the lead up, the heat to get to the title match, and this is what she says.
Hold on. It's not that serious. I wasn't going to do nothing. This doesn't serve me. I busted my head open a couple weeks ago, and I tasted my own blood. Now I know what I want, and what I want is that title. So tomorrow at Saturday Night Main Event, Taffy time is up.
Okay, so there's that. Not the best promo ever, but, you know, Tiffany being the baby face and Jade the heel, and Jade's a much better heel than she was here, but it's the direction they chose to go. That's all I got to say about that. Not much else to go and say. We're going to leave it there. Thank you all for listening to the program. As always, got a lot more to say, but like tonight, just don't have it in me. It's okay. Come back for another Wrestling Is Real podcast because wrestling needs us.